Hi everyone, my name is Janelle McSwiggan. Welcome to my channel. Like, subscribe, and follow if you want to learn more about medical writing. I'm a nurse medical writer and I help other nurses or healthcare workers transition into medical writing. If you are curious about the resources I offer, my website's willowbarkwriting.com. I have comprehensive courses, workshops, and coaching for all of your needs. So today we're going to be going over the frequently asked questions that I get over and over and over again about people that are interested in writing, but they're not quite sure, or maybe people have bought my coaching and they want to get their question answered. And so we're going to go one by one and dive into some of the most frequently asked questions as a nurse medical writer. So the first question as a nurse medical writer that I get is, what is freelance writing? So I'm a freelance nurse medical writer. I choose not to be working full-time from one company. And that means that I work for myself with a number of different clients to create different deliverables for everyone. So I'm not someone's employee, I'm my own boss. And I don't have to work with anyone I don't want to work with. So when I take a meeting with someone, it's not an interview, it's a discovery meeting because they're not choosing to work with me, we're choosing to work with each other. And there's been times where I haven't vibed with someone, the money's been great, and I've just been like, I'm sorry, this isn't gonna work. We're not gonna be a good fit. And that's the point of discovery call. So you can work part-time and decide to go full-time next month. You can scale as needed. Nothing is set in stone. You're the one making the decisions when you're a freelance medical writer, which I think is really cool for a lot of people. You're responsible for your own taxes, retirement, and benefits, and there may be more job security because you have multiple clients. That being said, this isn't the only option. So this is the second question I get as a freelance medical writer all the time. Is freelance writing the only option? Absolutely not. I know tons of writers that are full-time writers for one medical company, and that's what they choose to do. It's a really popular option. I think that everyone needs to decide what their personal wants are from their job and figure out if freelance or full-time works for them. So writing is really flexible. If you do want to go full-time, you can totally go full-time, or you can do full-time as a freelancer or part-time as a freelancer. You have a ton of different options there. Many nurses choose to work full-time for a writing agency, publications, or pharmaceutical industry. Some nurses will work full-time for 3 months and then their project will end. So it's up to you. You can build that schedule how you want to build it. So it's kind of like a pick your own adventure, which I say all the time. As a worker, you won't be your own boss. So when you're working for someone else in a full-time capacity, you're not your own boss. You won't set your own hours, you won't set your own rates, and you won't be able to pick your own deliverable that you work on. There also may be less job security because you can get laid off just like any traditional worker. While layoffs aren't super common in this industry, being a freelancer means you have multiple clients. So when a client drops off, you just grab another client or grab work for that other client. So it's more stable in that way once you build up that client base. When you're working for a company, it means that they're paying your taxes, your benefits. It also means that you get paid time off. As a freelance medical writer, you have to budget your time off into your deliverables. That being said, I just tell my clients that I'm leaving. I just took months off for my wedding and my honeymoon, and it was no problem. So some people will never experience some of the pitfalls, but it is important to mention the pros and cons for each. So that's just an individual choice that you can make as a business owner or as someone that's considering medical writing. Another question I get asked all the time as a freelance medical writer is, what do I do? What do I do? To put it simply, I research, write, and find clients. I keep track of my business a bit to make sure I'm making money and not spending too much, but mostly I write. For the past several years, clients have been finding me, so I don't really do a lot of client acquisition. It's been really nice. I work as little or as much as I want. If I want to sleep in, I do. If I have a doctor's appointment, I go to my doctor's appointment. If I want time off, I want time off. If I decide to work more at the bedside 1 month and write less, I do that. If I want to write for a full month and work at the bedside less, I do that. It's total freedom and it totally changes month by month. But mostly I write. I don't write books. I've never written a book. I have no interest in writing a book. I also don't write about my life. That's on something that is super lucrative. So this leads into the next frequently asked question I get as a nurse medical writer, which is, what do I write? At this point, I love thinking about this and prompting other people to think about this. So think about any time you have seen text in your healthcare career. Someone had to write that. That was a health or medical writer. Every time you open a manual for a machine at work, every single health article online that you've read or brochure you've passed out to a client, Have you ever gotten an email from a hospital or a doctor from a marketing campaign? Have you ever watched an ad for a medication on TV? Have you passed a billboard for a new med spa? Those were all medical writers. Did you take the NCLEX? Someone had to write all those test prep questions in your textbooks for nursing, plus those continuing education courses. I've actually written all of that. So it's super, super broad. And what I'm writing one week isn't what I'm writing the next week. And same thing year to year and same thing month to month. Some people do choose to write the same type of deliverable over and over again, whether it be a white paper, an ebook, whatever. That's just what keeps it exciting for me. You can also help doctors write their ebooks or companies launch their new products on Instagram, LinkedIn, or TikTok. You can design infographics or white papers to help hospitals. Every time a new medication, treatment, or device goes to market, a medical writer has to write and design the study for it. They also have to write multiple pieces of content for FDA approval. Then they have to write the websites for the medication, the presentations for the doctors or the pharmaceutical reps, and the posters and presentations for medical conferences. Now, think about how many medications there are, not only in the US, but in the Australian market, in the European market, and in the Asian market, because we don't have geographical borders anymore. So the scope is huge. The list literally goes on. And think of all the different clinics, doctors, publications all over the world that need content written. It's absolutely wild. These are just some examples. I could keep going on, but you guys get the point. So what I write will be totally different from someone else writing. And honestly, my writing could change in a year. So it's totally variable. The next question I get all the time is, who do I write for? I've written for a bunch of big names, Health Grades, Haymarket, Health News, Health.com, GoodRx, Medical News Today, Practical Neurology, Alphanumeric, Study.com, Second Spark, and a ton of smaller publications and doctors in between. I've written for some pharmaceutical giants as well, and I've written a good portion of the deliverables that I mentioned in the previous section. So that's why I like freelance writing, because it's given me the ability to write through a broad range of content instead of just writing for a marketing agency or a pharmaceutical company. I've been able to write for just about whatever I want to. So the next question I get asked as a nurse medical writer is, can you make money? Yep, you can. Lots of people do. And you can just do this as a side hustle too. So you can do this if you just want something to do on the weekends or your downtime. I like this option because of the flexibility. I never thought this was going to be my main squeeze. I was just trying to make extra money on the side. What I like to have people think about is if they just write one blog a week, and that one blog a week is $300 in a year, that's like $14,000. And it doesn't take that long to write a blog. It's like a day. So it's easy to scale up and scale down. You just write more or less and increase your rates as you go. So it's easy to kind of have this be a pet project on the side. And if you want to take the plunge, you take the plunge. And if not, you stay at the bedside. Nothing has to be set in stone. And writing is the best pick your own adventure. You can work as little or as much as you want in any deliverable that you want. And you could supplement with the bedside. The next question I get all the time is this a scam? Nope, not a scam. I tell everyone to Google me. I tell everyone to Google Healthline, Health Grades, Medical News Today. Look at their top articles. How many of them are written by nurses, doctors, or pharmacists? And I'm willing to bet a lot are. If they're not written, they're medically fact-checked or edited by those professionals. So there is a really robust industry. There's also been a push for healthcare workers to become writers. We're lead experts in the field, right? And as such, Google is rewarding written content by us. So Google wants accurate content. So it pays attention to when a field expert is writing it. So what does this mean? The higher Google ranks an article, the more views a website has, and the more they can charge for advertisements, and the more they can get their deliverables seen. So they have a higher revenue. So they're literally looking for experts like me, like you, to write content. So this is where we come in. So it's totally not a scam. It's a very well-known thing. You can Google my name and it'll come up. The next question I get asked all the time is, how fast can you make money? This depends on the person. This is totally dependent on the person. Do you just want to write one blog a week? How much time are you putting into this? How frequently are you reaching out to editors? What's your process? Are you taking a course like mine to help you that you can find at willowbarkwriting.com, the Writing Academy? Are you trying to do it on your own? Do you have your portfolio ready? Is your nursing a resume tweaked so it's now a writing resume. Oh, it's totally up to the person. I will say that you have the opportunity to make this fast, right? Because this is an entry-level job. You don't need any additional certification, education, or prior work as a writer. I found my first job and I was making money right away within a month, and I had no journalist degree or anything like that. It's up to you and how fast you can find your first client. This will vary, and some people will choose a slower path than others. As a business owner, you're in charge of your trajectory. It's only up to you. I've had some people hit big right away. Other people have taken their time. So it's really up to you and what you decide. I will say you shouldn't quit the bedside until you're comfortable with it. The next question I get asked the most as a nurse medical writer is where I work. I work remotely, wherever I want. I set my own hours. You can work in an office if you want a full-time role in this. You can do hybrid, you can do remote. I prefer remote. The next question I get asked as a nurse medical writer is where can I get started? The most comprehensive resource I've seen is my writing academy. It's workshops, lessons, and coaches. You'll find where to get clients, what to charge, how to start off, how to build your income, how to set up your business. Comes with templates you can edit and tons of resources. I also offer a free newsletter, daily tips on my LinkedIn, and free workshops. If you need individualized support, I also have mentor programs. You can learn more at willowbarkwriting.com. Where do you get health insurance is your next biggest question as a medical writer. This totally varies on your country and state. If you're from the United States, you can get insurance from a spouse or from your federal health insurance marketplace. Some states also have local marketplace. You just pick your plan, sign up, and pay monthly. And in Canada, they have their own health insurance. So it really depends where you're from. So those are my top questions as a nurse medical writer. I get a lot, and I'll be doing a secondary video for this. So like, subscribe, and follow if you guys want to learn more and figure out if this is for you. My additional resources are available at willowbarkwriting.com. Thank you. Bye.